In this video, we are going to look at the gradebook window when grading assignments in Google Classroom. So here I am in the classwork tab. I'm going to go ahead and look an assignment that I would like to grade. Let's look at today's work, this peanut butter and jelly assignment. So when I click into it as a teacher, it's going to all automatically take me into the student work tab where I should see a little preview of all the students' work that they're currently working on. I'm going to click into my first student here, and you can see that because I've made a copy of each document, it is attached to her name, and this is an individual document that she worked on individually. So when I click this document, it is now going to take me to what I'm referring to as the Google Classroom Gradebook window. As you can see, this is a new tab, so I can toggle back to Google Classroom, but it's opened up essentially the slide, the document, in this grading window that has a lot of different features that we're going to talk about. Now, this would look very similar no matter what type of document it is. If it was a Google Doc, the doc would be here in the middle. If it was an image, the image would be here in the middle. And you would have the same features running up the top and the right-hand side. I do love grading on Google Slides, but that's a video for another day, sort of about how and why I do that. So essentially, when I'm grading student work, especially in slides, I'm going down to a certain slide where I know that they've answered. So in this case, maybe slide number 4. I'm looking for Eliza's answer. And then I have a few ways that I'm going to either grade this or give feedback. If she wrote an answer on the slide that I want to respond directly to, so maybe she's missing some punctuation, and I want to respond to something very direct, I could highlight that and then right-click comment. And I could say something like, check spelling. As you see me write that word check, let's do that again. You might have noticed a drop-down menu of different options. These aren't automated by Google. I actually made these myself in something called the Google Classroom Comment Bank, where you can add comments that you regularly use in the comment feature. So if I'm always telling students to check spelling, that's something I could add to my comment bank. Let's look at how to do that. On the right-hand side, there's this mini column, and it's always defaulted to the grading window. But if I go one below, here's my comment bank. And these are all the comments that I commonly make within Google Classroom. Now, it's not specific to this class. It's within all of my Google Classrooms. But if I want to add to it, all I have to do is type whatever that word or phrase or emoji is. I can't think of anything else besides spelling. So I'll add that again. You'll now see it appears here. In the previous example, the drop-down list started with anything starting with check, but you can also access that whole comment bank by using the # or the hashtag, and you can see all of those comments that you use below. So maybe just a smiley face here. So that's the first way I'm going to use some Google Classroom features directly within this gradebook window. Then once I'm finished doing the detailed feedback, over here on that grading tab, I have the actual grade that I can give her. So maybe this is an 80. And then I can leave her a private comment. And this is really what I utilize the most. I give a lot of feedback here, positive and constructive. And a lot of times I ask students to respond. If I want them to respond to my feedback, if I want them to redo their work, I'll ask them to redo and respond here. And then I post that for them. It is private, as the name implies, so other students won't be able to see that. One of the nicest features about the gradebook window is right up here top middle. That little toggle arrow will just take me right on to the next student. So instead of having to now go back into Google Classroom and pull up the next, which doesn't sound like it takes a lot of time, but it really does, multiplied by like 180 students sometimes. So I can just scroll along, continuing to check work, give grades, scroll, give feedback, etc., etc. I can also select a student from this drop-down menu, and it will filter it for you. So you can filter by first name, by last name, or by status, who's turned it in, whose is missing. And you can jump to an individual student's assignment. When you're ready to return a piece of work, top right, you see the return button is a singular return. So you can return that one student's piece of work. By return, it means it will show them their grade. Private comments post immediately, comments on the document post immediately. But returning means returning the grade. The drop down arrow will allow you to return multiple submissions at a time. It will give you your list of students who you've given a grade to, and you can select which students to return it to. Another nice feature there is typically it also gives you the option to leave comments to the whole group at one time. Once you've finished in the gradebook window, we can go back to Google Classroom, click on grades, and we should see, here's that column, the grades that I've just returned. I'm going to talk about the gradebook in the next video, but this was all about how to grade using the gradebook window in Google Classroom. For more EdTech tips, tutorials, and lessons, you can visit my website, empoweredu.co, or find my teacher's paid teacher store, Empowered EDU. See you next time.